Hello guys, my name is Sergey Panin and today I will show you how I've been working on my scene water temple. Overall about me, I am an environment artist who have been working in the industry for already a couple of years, almost 5, and I have been doing this project online on my streams for a long time, so I have a lot of footage and I almost showed everything how I done the scene on my streams on Russian language, and I want to show small sum up what I have been doing on the streams almost across the whole year and show you a couple of techniques. I think the intro is not the most interesting part, so let's go and take a look what I have done in my scene water temple. When I started from the blockout. Blockout is a scene pretty important, and on the first stage I wanted to match the concept. This is the most important part for me because I really like initial concept. It was very artistic, very interesting. So I started working on the blockout to find the main proportions. For metrics I used humans and overall understand the focal length of the lens. I'm doing everything manually. I have done some painting to understand the horizontal line, but I understand that it's photobash. In photobash it's possible perspective distortions, so for my main scene I have been using metrics on human sizes, human stairs. Mostly you can understand how it will be done, and for me on this part, which I think is very important, it was focus on the shot. I haven't think about the whole scene. For me it was artistic scene, so I wanted to do as beautiful as possible. So I had my priority, artistic view more important than logic. On my work I mostly have to work with level design and real life, so you are going to more this realisticness. Here it's possible some distortions, something small mismatching with real life, but I think it was more important to do this scene artistically more interesting. Second stage, which was important, it was reference gathering. I have done initial blockout, of course I found a couple of references, but then I understand that the Indian temple, pretty complex theme, so I checked the references, and this will be my second advice to you. So go check the references, go dig in it. What I can recommend, for example, in this scene I found a lot of images in Google. I used another searches to find the images. Then I checked BBC movie about this temple because during my research I understand that this is 3 temples. So for different parts I found initial photos of the image of the concept, so I understand how it was done. Understand the whole idea because it's again photobash, it's possible to find almost every image. I checked old, I think BBC movie about creation of the, I think it's history of the Buddhism. It's old recording, but it's showing unique frames and unique positions which help me understand the material. Also I researched what type of stone was this. Because in India there are different kind of temples, different kind of mountains, but overall you can understand what type of stones can be in this zone, how people work with this, and this helped me to understand what textures it is, because I'm far away from India, I cannot check this temple, but at least I understood physics under it, and it helped me to do proper stone texture, how it should work, how this place have been built, which is super important. For content creation I used all techniques which can be possible. I have been using scanning, I have been using ZBrush sculpting, I have used Substance Designer to do height map, to create trims, to create materials. My project have been done on the Unreal Engine 5, so I have been using all benefits which was possible. I have used mask pipeline, I have been using virtual textures, I have been using trims, I have been using high displacement into engine because I saw it in a video of Quixel. They showed these techniques and I decided to try it, and every new try I was understanding how you can use displacement into Unreal and how beneficial it can be for you. So let's talk about height displacement. Mostly I have been using height displacement at the end of my workflow. I think after almost at the end, when I have been doing the last pieces of the content or have been redoing content. On this stage, I'm already a little bit tired of doing the simple zebra sculpting, and I was trying to find interesting solution. So I found this solution. I have been using mapping for the trim or for the tile. Then I have been using height displacement, which created cool relief, which was based on the trim, which I have done in Substance Designer different ways. For example, you can do it yourself, you can use pictures from the internet, you can use graphical design. So you're creating cool trim, you're using it as a trim on your mesh, but you are using high displacement in Unreal. It creates fantastically cool relief, and because of the nanite technology, it's looking awesome. So you're not spending hours and hours in the ZBrush, you're not spending time in UVs with Maya. Then you can use this mesh as it is, because it's already looking cool with some tileable materials and grunges and some shader magic. Or you can use this as a height map, and with Unreal it's possible to do even UVs. Yes, they're pretty bad, texel is low, but for masks you do not need high texel. So you can use the mesh, which Unreal done for you. It can even do UVs for you, unique ones, which we need. And you will not break the asset. You are sending it to the Substance Painter, you are texturing it, mostly doing masks, and you are using this mask into my shaders. Now about virtual texture. Virtual texture is some simple technology that your texture, which when it's very big, it can use technology virtual texture, and in this case you can use UDIMs into Unreal. I can't say that I'm super happy using it because it's taken a lot of time, but tech working fine, there are no problems with that. I'm mostly about overall pipeline, because doing UDIMs on 20K, 12K texture, taking a lot of time, a lot of effort, proper sculpt, and something magical in our environment pipeline with using tileables and trims. You're saving a lot of time. This is more movie style. I have been spending a lot of time doing custom UVs. I've been using projection of the UVs from the mid poly on high poly for texturing, so it took a lot of time, effort. I am happy with the result, but high displacement was more interesting pipeline for me. Shaders was pretty easy. I have done a lot of shaders. Mostly I'm creating simple environment and complex environment. For simple environment, I'm almost doing nothing except simple tint, roughness control. For complex environment, I'm doing other things. Because of the virtual texture, I had duplicate of my main material and main material for virtual texture for UDIMs. So I have created a couple of them. Also, I have done pretty cool moss blend, which work pretty fine because you have real geometry, and the moss shader working very nice with real geometry, giving you very fast and cool result. I almost haven't used any vertex painting because with Unreal 5 you cannot use it properly. You can, but it's a little bit more complex with current tech. So I mostly haven't done virtual vertex painting, only on the meshes which haven't used nanite technology. And also you cannot use waterline texture. This is another limitation of the technology. Maybe there are workarounds it. Of course, you can do custom UVs again. So waterline textures I almost haven't used, so this part I skipped. So my shaders mostly have been about creating wetness, about creating moss, about tinting. Of course, some of the shaders from Megascans, I'm not completely happy with them, but they are working for what they have to work, so it was fine. So, as I said, shaders overall was pretty easy, nothing complex, but here it is. Lighting. Okay, for lighting, it was pretty simple. I had concept. So I followed the concept on this stage. It was some ideas how I can improve it. Of course, I understand that on the concept it was some color correction, so I was thinking, should I follow it, should I not? So this was part of the discussion in my head, so I decided to go a little bit away, but not so much, so it's still sunny weather. I have been trying another lighting scenario. For example, I would try to do golden hour evening, but it hasn't worked for my scene, sadly. But I have tried storm, rainy night weather, which was looking pretty cool, so I decided to go this way. First, I have used light function, and it's created pretty unique look. So I decided there were a couple of options how to go. First was completely blue night with very contrasty fire inside. Another way was to go with this more rainy weather, a little bit more grayish, less bluish. So I decided to go this way because I wanted to use a lot of particles. Particles I have been using from simple from different plugins, because creating particles can take a lot of time and effort, and I'm not professional in effects, so this one. But I updated materials, so I created an additional shader pass just for lighting scenario, and of course I have been using the lighting scenario into Unreal to very quickly change the lighting setup. It was pretty flexible and easy to control. Okay, I think last pass it's about propping. Propping was simple. I have been using a lot of foliage, which mostly have been placed as static actors, not foliage. And of course I have been using different effects for clouds, which I also like. Usually it's just simple fog cards, which created additional depth to the image. Props pass, mostly I'm lacking this in. I do not have proper props pass, which can take a lot of time and effort if you're doing urban environment, for example. In this case, it's mostly about placing foliage here and there, creating decals. For decals, usually I just changed alpha texture. Sometimes I'm using some photos, sometimes I'm using pixel, sometimes I'm doing them myself. So it's pretty fast pass, but on this stage, when you are working long on the scene, it's very important not to skip it, because it can affect very, very significant effect on your image. So do not skip it. Do proper props pass, even like placing simple decals, stones, rocks, even some props like handmade can very visibly change your scene. Also, in the late stage of working on the scene, I updated some props because I was feeling they are not looking good enough for quality which I wanted. Okay, so that was all about creating the scene. It's pretty fast. You can check a lot of videos which I have been recording doing this scene. Feel free to ask me questions. I hope this will be useful. I think this tech with Unreal 5 is very interesting. You see, I have been trying not just saying that Unreal 5 is something just amazing. I was trying to go into these tools and use the benefit which you can. And pipeline should be not only about quality, it should be quality and speed. And I think with these small tricks here and there, you can increase your quality, you can increase your speed, which is super cool. I hope you enjoyed it. It was me, Sergey, and I will see you next time with some awesome content, at least I hope.